Never date a Hello Kitty girl, guys. She sold my spleen, my liver, my pancreas. Everything is gone. My heart, my lungs. How I'm even able to record this video is a medical miracle. But luckily for you guys, I'm here to talk to you about Total Drama Revenge of the Island 2. The second season, which we are going to call Return of the Island. I know, I'm a genius. I am a genius. Thank you. Thank you very much. No, it's really, you can stop. You can shut up. Anyway. So. First of all, let's get into it. So. I want to mention that the contest for my profile picture for October, November, the Halloween profile picture, is up. Just at me with whatever it is. The best one gets chosen, and it'll be my profile picture until around the end of November. So that does exist for all you artists or people on there. Of course, you're gonna get credit in the About Me until I take the profile picture off, where it will go back to the original person who made my profile picture, who is a dear friend of mine. So, that does exist. Feral, Demented, Ghastly win. Anyway, this idea was stolen from Hockey Bros Supremacy when he made a post about it. I think it's he. I'm not sure if he is a he, but I'm going to guess he is, just because Wayne is his profile picture, and yeah. So yeah, idea by Hockey Bros Supremacy. Thank you for letting me steal your thing, except I didn't ask for permission, but it was just a community post, so technically I'm not gonna get in trouble for it. So for episode 1, we have the forming of teams of the Nuclear Newts with Zoe, Scott, Dawn, Lightning, Sam, and Cameron. And then for the Gamma Gators, we have Mike, Dakotazoid, Stacy, and Maria, Joe, Brick, and B. And we're going to have cameos as well throughout this whole thing. So, in episode 1, they return to the cliff, and we're going to have the people jumping off B. Mike, Dakotazoid, Stacy and Anne Maria do not do it. Joe does it, Brick does it, B does not do it. Then we have Zoe throwing Scott off the edge, Cameron jumping off, Sam jumping off, Lightning jumping off, and Dawn somehow teleporting into the water. So, naturally, Team Gamma Gators loses, and they decide that they want to send Stacy home. However, it's revealed that this is a non-elimination challenge. Stacy gets pretty pissed and does a little angry rant into the camera, being like, yeah, so actually, I am, like, totally a good competitor. When you get to know me, like, yeah, I don't lie about everything, I just lie about most things, yeah. So second episode is going to be a laser tag that Chris had set up for in the last season, but now he's finally using it. However, there's a little twist to this with Chris. Chris is obviously, after Revenge of the Island, in jail. So he's currently doing this from a live stream from a monitor to the contestants. So he's a robot, essentially. But he's, you know, watching this all from his little jail cell, with every now and then having to leave to talk to lawyers and judges and all that sort of stuff. And the producers, of course. You know, gotta get that wage slave labor, you know? So, obviously that's happening, and the budget is horrible right now. So they're trying to do everything they can to not spend very much money. So we have laser tag that Chris had set up for in the last season, but now he's finally using it. And after all this, the final person standing is Zoe, who shoots Joe and Brick at the last minute while they're bickering. The Gamma Gators realize they have to send someone home, and Stacy convinces all of them to vote out Dakotazoid, as she is going to be a serious problem later on in the season. What are you gonna do when Dakotazoid's coming at you, huh? What are you gonna do? She'd be impossible to get out past Merge. So, they decide, we'll get rid of her now. Plus, she isn't exactly all mentally there. Then, in our next challenge, we have a cameo from Tyler and Eva. And in this one, we have a racing challenge and an obstacle course across the island. The Nuclear Newts somehow win once again, thanks to Lightning's help getting Cameron across. Working as a team player, Scott is still in some crutches, but weirdly enough, he's still able to make it past some of these other guys, slowing down the team. The entire team turns to Stacy, who we've set up to be sort of a villain in this season, and goes, you know, we kind of need Dakotazoid in this challenge to help us along. Because screw Stacy. I'm gonna make it obvious she's going home. Like, they're gonna be looking at her the entire challenge saying that she's going home. And for once, this is not gonna be a total drama red herring of, oh, you are so eliminated. Girl, you are eliminated. You are out of here. Thank you. And Stacy is gone. Next we have Dodgeball. But filled with paint, and they explode. Essentially, paint balloons in the film lot. So, Joe and Brick and Mike are able to kind of scoot things around, and B invents a small cannon launcher for these sorts of paint balloons, which get Scott and Zoe pretty early on. Lightning gets too sure of himself, Sam gets Scott next, and we have some little interactions between Dawn and Cameron before they both get got by a Joe who wants revenge for Mike and Maria and B getting taken down. Then the Nuclear Newts are sent to the elimination ceremony. Scott convinces Sam and Lightning to vote off Cameron, because Cameron is a mental threat, but he assures them that Scott will be no problem after Merge. He'll just disappear into the background. He'll be no problem for them. Easy vote out after Merge, but he says that his intelligence will be able to make up for a little bit of Cameron's. So they get rid of Cameron here. Dawn just votes for Scott. So Zoe and Cameron vote for Lightning. So there we got one of the current winners, and obviously, due to both All-Stars and Revenge of the Island still being Cameron, canon, even though there will be a few changes due to this season, we're going to keep most of the things as the same. So in episode 5, we have a cameo from Lashana, Cody, and Noah. Weird trio right there, but it works out. So we have Escape Room with clues based on past episodes taking place in the film lot. Scott talks to Anne Maria on the other team, saying that Anne Maria should try to lose the challenge on purpose to get rid of Mike due to him not being her boy toy anymore. She complies and gets Mike eliminated by throwing keys and tricking the others into believing that he did it. She breaks stuff, but tries to make sure that Mike takes all the blame that he needs, and convinces Joe that Mike has been sabotaging because of something to do with Zoe. Then we move on to episode 6. In episode 6, we explore a real haunted house on the film lot. Real ghosts, chat. Real Island of the Slaughtered. I'm just kidding. And in this, we have an Indiana Jones thing at the end, where Scott gets run over by a boulder again, landing him in the wheelchair again. But we're not going to use Fang in this season, so don't worry about that too much. So this is Scott's essentially F around, find out. You really didn't think he was making it that far in this season, huh? Next we have... Oh, and I guess I should say which team wins. I would say that it's probably the Nuclear Newts. But we get rid of Scott, so... Episode 7, a motor driving challenge with cars that have slime weapons on them, as well as glue and slippery substances. All that sort of thing, taking place on the film lot. In this, we get rid of B. All of you guys knew he wasn't gonna get that far. B wasn't gonna make it that far. Overall, Joe thinks that B is going to be a mental threat in the future and convinces Anne Maria and Brick to vote him off. Next, we've made to merge. Dawn has been talking to something for a while, which has been kind of freaking Zoe out. Something in the middle of the night. Only small moments, though. Which leads us to... a forced survival challenge after being brought back to the island from the lot. Where Beth shows up as a cameo, and Ezekiel. It's revealed that Ezekiel was who Dawn was talking to this entire time, and she is actively trying to rehabilitate him. She says that if she wins some of the money, then she's actually going to try to get Ezekiel back into a better position, get him back to his parents, get him all healed up, because she believes that he has a good soul underneath all of the mental anguish that he's gone through. So, after all of that, Chris is so sick of having Ezekiel on that he gets pissed enough to say, "Chef, you are going to eliminate Ezekiel," as the first boot from Merge. Ezekiel takes the catapult of shame. After it was revealed the creature Dawn was talking to was Ezekiel. Sweet interactions, all that jazz. He leaves a flower for her, and he starts speaking a bit of English again. Obviously, him and Dawn will be having a nice relationship after this is over. Next we have episode 9, a singing challenge. We all know we love those singing challenges. And for our cameos, we have Trent and Harold, the beatboxer and the guitarist. And in this, we are going to get rid of Anne Maria. Her voice was so grating that they just had to get rid of her. However, characters like Joe actually shows off some vocal talents that has to do with more metal type music. But when Anne Maria tries to sing Princess Courtney type songs, it ends up working completely against her, and they eliminate her due to her leaving lasting damage on their ears. Let's be real here, Anne Maria had pretty much no friends. Next, we have a maze challenge with past campers trying to tag the current contestants. Here we have Justin, Katie, and Sadie. So the people who make it out of here are Joe and Dawn. And then the voting process begins, and we have our double elimination, with it being Zoe and Lightning, as Zoe has Dawn and Brick on her side, and Lightning has Joe and Sam on his. Chris said that he felt the season was going on a little bit long and booted them both together. Yet again, with Zoe's elimination being caused by a jock. Now, we have episode 11. We have an underwater challenge with diving gear and plenty of oxygen, also a little bit of a maze in there. The person who makes it out first is going to be Joe. Sam was eliminated because Joe thought he didn't deserve the money and didn't have a good reason for getting it in the first place, due to his girlfriend's parents being incredibly rich. And yes, I know the island is filled with toxic waste, but we're going to say that's mostly gone. There's still a little bit, but the producers have urged the officials to keep the show going. So now we have our final three: Brick, Joe, and Dawn. So for this, we have a skateboarding / bodyboarding contest, where people try to do as cool tricks as possible. And I forgot to mention that back in episode 7, and I did write this beforehand, Joe found an idol, which is used on Dawn. Despite it all looking like it's leading up to a Dawn versus Brick finale. Dawn is eliminated, and we have a Joe versus Brick finale, where it is finalists and their partners must find the $1 million within Chris's mansion. There are puzzles, and Chris controls the entire mansion. This is going to be a hint to the upcoming Pacateo Island. With the helpers for Brick being because there's going to be for Brick is going to have Tyler and Zoe, and for Joe, there's going to be Eva and Lightning. And this will be our final two and their little teams, and the rest will be cheering them on, all that sort of thing. However, the canon winner is going to be Brick. Brick is going to be the canon winner. But that's just my opinion. Who do you want to win? Write down in the comments below. And while you're down there, maybe click off the video, go outside, compliment someone's hair, and make the world a little bit of a better place.